Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome to the channel. I thought today I would use the wisdom of the oracle, see what messages Spirit has for us. One of the nice things about using the cards, the oracle cards, is that we know when the messages come out that they're meant for us. Quite often when we receive messages in our mind, they can be overturned by doubt thoughts and we can be distracted, whereas when we have this physical representation in a card, then we can be sure that the message is for us. And it's also nice, I particularly like the pictures and the messages as well, so, and the fact that we can reinterpret them in helpful ways. So yeah, let's see what Spirit wants to say to us today. So we've got Fork in the Road as the first card. Oh, that opened straight away at the right page. Time to make a decision. Considering the consequences, you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. So to me, this is all about deciding whether we want to be in the right mind or the wrong mind, or whether we want to be true to ourselves or whether we want to people please, which is a decision that we should be making every minute of every day. And we know that people pleasing is distorted and kind of takes us away from our true path. So we really need to learn to be honest with this card. And to do that, we need to get in touch with our feelings. How do we feel? And what do we truly want? Because sometimes we're so, it's like the mind jumps ahead. What we truly want is to be loved and accepted. Therefore, we think that we need to people please and we need to be acceptable. And then we kind of bypass our own authenticity and go towards what we think we want in a way that we think we should do it. And on this path, we're not doing that. We're slowing down and tuning into our feelings and, deciding what do we want. And are we going to make the right decision in the moment, because it's so important for us to do that. The next card out is Orphaned, which is number 5. Let's see what this one says. A sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. So yeah, these two cards tie really well together, essentially. What it's showing us is that we've been people pleasing, and that we need to, in order to belong, we need to be ourselves. If we're not being ourselves, then we're hiding from ourselves. And if we're hiding from ourselves, then we're hiding from others. And all this hiding is no good. We can't be seen for who we are if we hide. The ego likes to convince us that if we hide, we're going to stay safe. Actually, we're just going to stay away from the love and the care and the inclusion that we do want. So, yeah, we need to accept that we are love and that we all want the same thing, and that we need to come out of the closet and be very open. And the ego will tell us that we don't fit in, but that's not true. When we be true to ourselves, we do fit in. And if we find that we don't fit in with certain people, then we'll be directed to the people where we do fit in and we do feel respected and wanted and included. And we are on the same path. So everything that we think is bad is always leading us to what we need, which is a beautiful thing. And we really do want to be around people where we can speak our truth. And I think because the external world is a mirror, we think we can't speak our truth, and then the external world will reflect back to us that we can't speak our truth and we're not accepted. Whereas when we accept ourselves, because the world is this reflective surface, when we accept ourselves, the other world accepts us too. It doesn't really have a choice. And even if it seems to not accept us, then we're not perturbed by it, because we're not guided by what other people think about us. It's not our compass. And in that way, we're very much free. And we know that we're part of the whole, and we have this responsibility to be true to ourselves. And then we can show other people that they too can be the same, which is what everybody wants. Everybody just wants to be able to be themselves and be accepted for who they are. But we first have to accept who we are, that we're love, and we have to change from within in order for the external world to change and bring back our projections. They're all flying out. Chaos and conflict, 33. Disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. It says, opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to invent yourself anew. So yeah, what this makes me think, this card, is that we need the contrast in life. We need to have an interaction with somebody, and then in that interaction we see what we don't want. You know, if we don't feel good, then this chaos and conflict is actually helping us, because it's showing us where we need to refine our beliefs and thoughts. So yeah, these two cards, this card very much ties in with the previous two. To the ego, it can feel as if things are in disarray, but really it's just things being brought to the surface that we need to look at with the spirit, which is great. All that glitter, 16. A need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing. So yeah, again, this card ties in that when we wear a mask, or when we get excited by other people's masks or the shiny things in the external world, that we're just chasing an illusion, essentially. And the spirit is always trying to move us away from that, because anything that seems to glitter and shine will distract us, and then it will disappoint us, and then we'll feel upset again. So we need to remember that the true treasure is within, in our understanding of unity, and our application of our forgiveness and non-judgment. And then we can really see that everything glitters, because when we see life through a lens of judgment, we essentially blot out all the love that's trying to come through. Whereas when we stop doing that, and we focus and we're anchored more within, then we can see the world anew, and then the world kind of will glitter, but it'll glitter in a different way. It'll glitter because the light that we're projecting on it from within is what's making it seem really beautiful, rather than being seduced and thinking that the power is in the external, or the goodness is in the external, which it isn't. It never is. It's always within us. Treasure Island. The law of attraction brings dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere. Yeah, so again, this does tie in, that what we think of within is what will manifest without. And I always think of the world as a treasure hunt, because other people and the world is always showing us what's going on inside. And we have a tendency to judge other people as separate and think that they're kind of blocks to what we want. But really we need to see that everyone is reflecting back to us what we need to know. And if we can take the information and look at it with the spirit, then we can always see that we're just seeing a result of our own projection. And if we don't like it, then we need to change it. Because once we've completely healed something from within, then we no longer will see it in the external world, which is quite magical as it works. You know, if you seeing people who you think are selfish outside, then it's something that we need to look at in ourselves. Because when we're no longer selfish, we just won't see these things. And it's really clever how it works. I know I've transmuted many situations that I don't see anymore. I'd gone to a conference a while ago, and this gentleman apparently had stood up and made a sexist comment, and I I didn't even see or notice. Whereas everybody else was up in arms, and I was thinking, why is everyone upset? It just went completely off my radar because I wasn't aligned with that way of thinking. I was just unable to see it completely. So yeah, we need to use the external world as a way to show us what we don't want, and then change our thoughts internally, and we no longer align up with these things. And then we get to see everybody in an undistorted way. For example, this gentleman that everyone thought had made this horrific comment, I just didn't notice that about him. And I think the more we purify our mind, the better we are for the world. It makes sense to us that we should just be looking at healing ourselves, because the more we can bring a loving and pure version of ourselves to the world, the more grace we can extend to other people. So it's a beautiful thing. And then, yeah, the world really is just a treasure island. I mean, this picture is absolutely gorgeous of this little terrapin or turtle with the treasure on its back. And we do carry the treasure within us. It's always within us. Right, the yin card also came out. Let's see what this one says. This is number 2. The feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues. The art of conscious allowing. So yeah, this is a beautiful card. I think when we're feeling our lack state, we can very much pursue things. And then when we do that, sometimes it's as if we're not trusting that we're inherently good enough to receive. And the yin card is all about learning to receive and learning that we are good enough, and by accepting our divine nature, that things will come to us and the spirit will bring things to us anyway. But it's just about relaxing into that gentle knowing that we are worthy and that everything we need will come. All right, let's see what else we have. No place like home. Sweet. Oh, cards have all gone wonky now. Right, this is 50. Authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit and being comfortable in your own skin. So, yeah, we know that this is love, this is unity. It's not really a place, not a physical place at all. It's a state of being or a state of mind that we need to aim for. And the Spirit is always guiding us and showing us how to do that through our forgiveness and non-judgment. So, yeah, we tend to think of a home as a place, but that can never be true, because we can actually leave that place and then we won't feel like we're at home. So home has to be something within that really matters to us. And I think of this as kind of being somewhere between the head and the heart. That's like our altar, our internal altar. And that must be in alignment with God. It must be congruent. What we think and say and do must all kind of align up. And that's when we're going to feel that safety, because we are sustained by God's love, when we really align to everything we need. And when we have that trust and that receptivity, as I mentioned in the previous card, then we know that we're home. We know that we're always home, even when we maybe don't even feel at home. We're only really ever a thought away from being home. And home is our remembrance of the truth, that we are one mind and that we are always in heaven, and that we have that understanding to fall back on every time we feel wonky or upset. That's all we need to do to return. I do like these diddy little cards. So much easier to shuffle. Not for you. See what this one means. 6. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. Yeah, this is interesting. I think quite often we don't accept this. Our human self that believes that it's separate and responsible for its own well-being and its own path, that will go about life from its own distorted perspective. And the spirit obviously can go ahead of us and rearrange time and space for us. And sometimes we just know that something's not for us, or we have to accept that it's not for us. Or it might be that it's just not for us right now. And it might be for us in the future, but we can let go and trust, because we don't need to worry about these things. And the more we worry about it and distress ourselves, the worse we feel, which is not what the spirit wants. The spirit really just wants us to relax. The spirit is always giving things to us all the time, so we can just relax in the knowing that we're exactly where we're meant to be. To be fair, and message in a bottle. Right. To be fair, number 38. So this is to do with the law of cause and effect, which I love. This is kind of reminds me of the Justice card in tarot, in that from our distorted human perspective, we have really no idea of what's fair, because we're judging everything from our dualistic perspective and from our small-minded perspective, and we always believe we're innocent and we see the external as guilty. So our concept of what is fair and just is completely skewed. And because of the projection mechanism, we're always trying to get rid of our own guilt and see it outside of us. So obviously we're going to believe that we're innocent and, you know, it's the external that's bad. And the spirit is kind of explaining to us that this is reversed and that we need to see it in completely the opposite way. And sometimes we have to be taught difficult lessons in order to help us to see that what we think is fair and what is actually fair is not the same, but that we're always taken care of. And because the spirit is so loving, the spirit has a way of being fair to everybody in a helpful, healing way. The spirit wouldn't dream of punishing or judging any of us. Every lesson that we experience is all for us to understand. It's not to punish us. The ego will tell us we're being punished, but it's not the case. It's always just to help us. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing to know, that divine intelligence oversees the universe, and that everyone is having the experiences and the lessons that they need, and that all is well, and that we can just trust. So we have 15, message in a bottle. Communication, a sign, pointing the way to our highest good. So yeah, I think this is just the story of the whole reading, really, and that the spirit is always guiding us towards our highest good. And we can look at a message in a bottle and think it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I think there's a telephone within the bottle. And the message is, we may perceive a message a certain way, and then the spirit can reinterpret it for us. I know as I've healed on my spiritual journey, things just appear to you differently at different levels of consciousness. And it's always helpful to ask the Spirit for a reinterpretation of what we think the message is, because from our limited perspective we don't really understand the messages, and the Spirit is always trying to help us. But yeah, the message is that we are saved, we are loved, we are whole, we are innocent, and we're always exactly where we need to be on our path, and that we can just relax and surrender and know that the Spirit has got us, and yeah, that nothing's going wrong for us or anybody else. And that is just such a wonderful knowing, I think, that we can just relax and be and enjoy the present moment on the understanding that everything is just perfect. Right, that is my little message for today. I love you all, and I will see you again. Bye.